US House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and other Democratic congressmen holding a moment of silence for 8 minutes and 46 seconds to honour George Floyd. These are live pictures of the remembrance held for the 46-year-old. Thousands of mourners are expected to attend a public viewing for George Floyd in Texas today. We're going to take you live now to Washington, D.C., where US House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and congressional Democrats are unveiling policing reform legislation in the wake of George Floyd's death.
Heartbreaking display, but children, little children saying, "Mama, Mama, has anyone seen our mother?" These children separated from their mothers, the cruelty of that. And that's why when George Floyd called out for his mother, when he was subjected to that knee in the neck, it was just a continuation of some horror that has existed in our country for a very long time. So Mr. Clyburn, Mr. Hoyer, our distinguished leader, Mr. Clyburn, our whip, joined Karen Bass, Leader Schumer, the two senators, leaders on this issue, Congresswoman Harris, Senator Harris, Senator Booker, in the Emancipation Hall, aptly named for those who built the Capitol of the United States, in their honor. We were there for 8 minutes and 46 seconds on our knees. My members will attest, it's a very long time. It's a very long time. And I graciously led them in falling over when it was over so that they could do the same thing. But here we are, the martyrdom of George Floyd gave American experience a moment of national anguish as we grieve for the Black Americans killed by police brutality. Today, this moment of national anguish is being transformed into a movement of national action as Americans from across the country peacefully protest to demand an end to injustice. Today, with the Justice in Policing Act, the Congress is standing with those fighting for justice and taking action. Let us, my colleagues, just go over some of those names of martyrdom. George Floyd, Jackson Davis, Oscar Grant. So sad. Breonna Taylor, Armand Arbery, Botham Jean, Terrence Crutcher, Philandro Castle, Freddie Gray, Walter Scott, Tamir Rice, Michael Brown, Eric Garner, Trayvon Martin. My colleagues, any other names you want to add?
Sean Bell.
Thank you. We cannot settle for anything less than transformative structural change, which is why the Justice in Policing Act will remove barriers to prosecuting police misconduct and covering damages by addressing the quality immunity doctrine. It will demilitarize the police by limiting the transfer of military weaponry to state and local police departments. It will combat police brutality by requiring body and dashboard cameras, banning chokeholds, no-knock warrants in drug cases, and end racial profiling. Will finally make lynching, Mr. Hoyer, a federal hate crime. And I support Chairwoman Bass and Representative Bobby Smith and our two distinguished Senators Harris and Booker and others for their work in helping to pass H.R. 35 this year. Police brutality is heartbreaking reflection of an entrenched system of racial injustice in America. True justice can only be achieved.
That was US House Speaker Nancy Pelosi speaking in Washington, D.C. there as they were revealing policing reform legislation in the wake of George Floyd's death.